Really? Okay, so what I've got for you today is a Terran versus Protoss, where our Terran player is starting off with a build that is normally proxied on the other side of the map. So spotted right here in the bottom right-hand corner of Goresvin, playing with the red Terran SCVs. We have the most aggressive Terran player at this level of play, and of course his name is ByuN. His opponent in the opposite corner, currently completely unaware of the fact that he's about to be rushed, playing here with the blue Protoss probes. He goes by the name of Creator. Now Creator, he has not sent out a scouting worker, so he's not gonna find out about this until it's probably already a little bit too late. Then again though, normally, right, we see this sort of proxy planted right over here, or maybe right over here, right? Something a little bit closer to the side of the Protoss, because these units, they're gonna have to march across for quite a while. They do have the concussive shells upgrade, so that makes them a lot more microable here in the earlier stages of the game. And ByuN, he's gonna go for a third one here as well. Follows it up with Stimpak and 2 more barracks. Okay, we just have aggression after aggression right here, coming out of our Terran player. Creator, he has sent his very first adept straight across the map. Sadly for him though, on Goresvin, it turns out you pass the opponent's units without actually seeing them. He's gonna spot at least the 3rd Marauder, okay. So that's something, but does he pick up on the fact that there's already others going across the map right now as well? Shield battery, sadly a little bit later than you ultimately needed. Now at the very least he started it up. Very important, okay, he cancels that right there right before they could get the kill. Good control here so far by our Protoss player. Terrando, of course, known as Micro Jackson. He's very good at microing those units, trying his best to get as much damage as possible, but this is one of those build orders, though, that is sort of figured out, right? Otherwise, we would see this sort of opener every single time from Terran players. Terran, of course, okay, good sniper right there on the first Marauder. They do delay their own economy a little bit as well when they go for an opener like this, so they have to justify this opener by dealing quite a bit of damage, and so far, I think it's been shut down really nicely. He tries to get one Marauder, or sorry, one Stalker right there as well, but the Marauders, in the end, they do end up going down. And considering the fact that Creator had no idea that this was coming until it was already on his side of the map, 4 probes for 3 Marauders is not a bad start for him whatsoever. Blink is coming up on the back of this as well. Okay, we've got a robo facility right now coming up, so I think it's about time, in about a minute or so from now, for Creator to get a little bit of damage done on the other side of the map instead. This particular game, it was played during the EPT Korea, and it was recommended to me earlier today by Chicken Man, so big shout out to Chicken Man, who casts a ton of StarCraft 2. I'll go ahead and post a link to his Twitch channel down below in the description of this video, because you should definitely go check him out. He said, ByuN versus Creator absolutely slapped. Now, people don't really use the word slapping all too often in my inbox, usually. Unless I've been going to some very shady websites. Generally speaking, Chicken Man's recommendations have been amazing, so I'm excited to find out what ended up going down between these two. As well, we do have a nice aggressive start right here, right? I love seeing that sort of aggression coming out of ByuN. Sometimes TVP, ZVP, ZVT, and basically all of the other matchups in StarCraft 2, they can be a little bit mundane in the earlier stages of the match, especially if you've seen quite a few of those, well, matchups recently, but ByuN always the type of guy who's ready to bring some aggression whenever he can. Okay, so Stalkers are marching across. Do we have... yeah, we do have a Prism out already. Observer on the back of this too. So normally what Protoss players like to do is they will blink into the main base. Now in a normal game, there's going to be a siege tank waiting right over here or right over there just to try and push back these Stalkers. But ByuN almost forced himself into a triple Rex opener. So he's got a lot of units, but not something that's super microable against these Stalkers. He did already finish up Stimpak as well, so Stimpak is nice. But the problem is, yeah, Medevacs only start up right now, and, well, with good control, Creator should be able to deal quite a bit of damage, yeah. Okay, Creator. He's got essentially double blink on all of these Stalkers, right? Since he can also pick them up right there in the Prism. He is ready to finish this game right here, right now, if he can. Okay, there's the Stimpak activated. Keep in mind that Stimpak hurts these units a lot, so Creator decides to mostly just run. Nice pickup control right there on some of those Stalkers, blinking them away as well. Okay. ByuN's trying to buy time. Medevacs are popping out of their starports right now, but this is dangerous, man. That's the 2nd stim already activated. Of course, those Medevacs are not going to have a lot of energy, so every single one of these stims really hurts. Third Nexus is going down in the meantime, so I think Creator was originally planning on winning this game right here, right now. I did see him pop down a Robo Bay, yeah, so at the very least he's got a Colossus transition coming up as well. But he wants to deal a little bit more damage, and honestly, he should expect to do a little bit more damage. There's another Stimpack being activated, a lot of low HP Stalkers already. Okay, more and more SCVs pulled away. I love the 4 gateway follow-up, man. I thought maybe you could get away with like 3 gateways, maybe even 2 gateways if you really wanted to go for a quick third. But Creator, you know what? He's a Protoss player who likes some aggression as well. Okay, so in the end, relatively even trade, but 13 SCVs at the cost of a bunch of Stalkers is certainly not terrible. One thing to note is with an opener like this, ByuN will likely not get a third command center until at least, well, he's either going to choose to add on additional barracks or he's going to go for a third command center in like 30, maybe a minute from now. It slows down the Terran economy a lot. It essentially means that he needs to get something done with all of those units he's been producing here for a little while already. But I love this move here from Creator, just buying time. So Creator currently have 54 workers, not quite enough just yet to really properly contest the Terran's economy with the mules. But very soon, that third Nexus, yeah, it's going to be able to start mining here. Probes are being transferred. Very soon, his economy will be a little bit bigger than the Terran. And at that point, for every minute that goes by, obviously you just end up with more stuff. Third command center did start up just now, okay. But ByuN is also marching across. Then again though, since that Prism is still here, yeah, quite a chunk of the Terran units here is occupied with, well, trying to keep the main base safe. And that means that this aggression here from ByuN will probably get shut down. There's already a Colossus out. Extended Thermal Lens, nowhere, well, even remotely close to finishing just yet. This is a very Marauder-heavy army, so those Colossi, they deal a lot of damage to Marines. I wouldn't mind seeing an Immortal mixed here, but honestly, I don't even know if he really needs it. The Prism. Oh, the Prism recalled back home. I see. So that's kind of nice. Yeah, at this point, ByuN realizes it as well, so he sends the additional units across that were occupied with, well, trying to keep those all safe in the main base. There's a good couple force fields going down. Colossus from the high ground dealing a lot of damage. There's the Blink moving forward. Is he going to be able to get one more medevac? He will. So 2 medevacs right there. Luckily for ByuN though, it was not the medevacs with the units in them. So at the very least, he's not super far behind, but this early game certainly has not gone the way that the Terran player had planned. Third command center though is done. These guys are taking turns on who gets to be aggressive, because I think very soon we should see the Protoss player once again making a move. Charge is going to finish up in about 30 seconds. +1 is finishing up. Extended Thermal Lens is coming up. We have a Dark Shrine building. So Creator is tacking. Alternatively, he could just go for a 4th. I think that may actually be the plan. Yeah. Obviously, whenever you push, whenever you attack, you run a little bit of a risk. Whereas defending at home and just simply expanding oftentimes is the safer, more well-rounded approach. It's always scary to push into someone of ByuN's caliber, because sometimes he can accidentally micro his units a little bit better than you expected, and, you know, then suddenly you end up losing all your stuff. Disruptor's coming up, though. Creator has actually been really impressive over the last couple months. I mean, he's obviously been good for a long time, but I don't think he quite gets the recognition that he deserves. He's been very strong, and yeah, just playing some stellar StarCraft 2. Okay, well, I say that as he misses the blink timing, but I promise you, he's real good, okay? ByuN right there with the bad-mannered scan as well, right? He's like, yo, you just lost a couple Stalkers? Lol. That's not great. Anyways, Disruptors, though, are now on the battlefield too, and Dark Templar are also joining us. So where's the DTs currently? Okay. I was gonna say, are they gonna be part of the main army? That would be a little bit surprising. Instead, they decided to become as one. They become an Archon. That's beautiful. There is still one Dark Templar available. That one doesn't have a friend just yet, but I would imagine that it is also going to morph into an Archon here. Yeah, there you go. Nobody goes alone, man. It also decides to morph into an Archon to make this Protoss army even more formidable. Now, in the meantime, though, this has allowed ByuN a lot of time to get that third base of his, I was going to say third Nexus, but this third command center of his up and running. Super important, right? He starts a little bit of a semi-wall up here as well. Usually this is used to funnel those zealot charges, right? So say, for example, Protoss decides to go for an attack move over here. Those zealots are going to have to funnel in between those structures, and that makes it a whole lot easier for ByuN to set up a concave and to defend. Widowmine's burrowed in random locations, giving him a bunch of vision. Okay. Creator, though, is ready to get aggressive once more. He does have an Observer right now, so that Widowmine, it is going to get killed. A lot of Zealots, though, did just waste their charge cooldown, so probably going to win a wait here for at least a little bit. Okay. So this is apparently the time. Yeah, this is a good moment right here, though, for ByuN as well. We actually seize those Dark Templar. There's the Disruptor moving forward. Nicely dodged right there by ByuN. He cleaned up those DTs without really a lot of hassle at all. He's trying his best to set up as big an arc as possible, right? To make sure that he deals a lot of damage. And well, he actually decides to fall back to his own natural. I don't think I fully agree with that. Hallucinated Colossus here at the front trying to be annoying. There's also Ghost in the mix right now for EMPs. I think if those DTs were sent in just a little bit later, this would have been a lot more successful. But now the Terran army is absolutely massive. A couple of force fields right there, making it difficult for the Terran player, though, to continue chasing. But Creator gets pushed back. 4th Command Center, in the meantime, at the 6 o'clock position. Growing a funny little planetary fortress hat. It's gonna make it difficult for those Dark Templar and those Zealots to really deal a lot of damage. In the meantime, we have another base going up as well at the 12 o'clock. As Creator is, well, still staying a base ahead of his opponent, but not as comfortably as he was earlier. Planetary is going to finish up. We don't have Shadow Strike done yet, it just started. If he wants to deal damage, he's going to have to snipe down that missile turret, but I don't think it's really going to happen. Yep, once again, very good catch right there by ByuN. At IEM Katowice, at the StarCraft 2 World Championships, they made these player cards, right? And they ranked like the versatility of the pro gamers, they ranked like the offensive, the defensive, and they basically gave a rating to every single one of the pros in a bunch of different, relatively arbitrary categories. And it was the other pro gamers voting on their fellow pro gamers on what rating they should get. And a lot of the top tier players, they all said that ByuN's defense was like 20% of his offense. Like, they gave him amazing scores for his offense, but they didn't really give him a lot of credit for his defensive play. I think in this game, ByuN is trying to almost like prove us wrong, right? He's doing a very good job defending. And honestly, I've seen him defend really well for a long time, but I always remember that whenever I think back of the other Terran players discussing the way that ByuN plays, they very much so view him as an aggressor, but I mean, in this game, ByuN started off aggressively. He went for a little bit of a timing attack, I suppose, as well, when he finished up that Stimpack upgrade and won the Stalkers game across the map. Yeah, it wasn't really a timing. It was mostly like a defensive timing, I suppose. He's been holding on, and he's been doing an excellent job macroing his way out of that early game. Already, ByuN is now getting himself the +1, I was gonna say flyer attacks, but that would be the Terran Zerk equivalent, I guess. Doesn't really matter all too much. He's gonna go for the Fleet Beacon and the Fusion Core. Well, we have a Fleet Beacon on the other side of the map. We have a Fusion Core inside of the main base of the Terran. The Terran Fleet Beacon. The Protoss Fusion Core. Or at least, you know, the equivalent. As both players are apparently setting themselves up for a nice little late game. Yeah, we're bypassing the mid game right now. And both players have realized that, yeah, it's time for us to make some higher tier units. 5 additional command centers are building right now. So ByuN is maxed out, and the first thing he does as soon as he's got some cash is he adds on additional command centers. So he's creating a nice little nest egg here. If he needs to, he can start dropping a bunch of mules. He can start, well, adding on some additional scans. It's always nice to have more and more command centers available, assuming you don't die in the next couple minutes. Because then you just wasted all that money, right? That you probably want to be spending on your units instead. Carrier coming up. Advanced Ballistics also coming up here for ByuN. So that is the ranged upgrade right here for those Liberators. Storm is about to finish up here for Creator. This does get scanned. So actually a really good scan right there by ByuN. He sees both the Skytools transition as well as the High Templar transition. So 7 additional barracks, or command centers, sorry. Upon seeing that, I guess ByuN is looking at that and he's realized, okay, there's no way my opponent is really going to get aggressive here anytime soon. If I have enough time, I'll just add on even more command centers. Alright. So even though I thought this was going to be a little bit more of an aggressive mid-game, both players have decided, nah, it's not really what we want to do. Fair enough. There is going to be a moment, though, where you do want to start trading out those units so you can replace them with better ones. ByuN playing a relatively passive game here after the Marauder start. But he's gonna need to clean up some of his supply just to replace it with better units, like for example Liberators. So I wouldn't be surprised if he's gonna go for some more medevac drops here very, very shortly. Protoss still has a lot of supply caught up in Stalkers and whatnot as well, but honestly, yeah, look at him. He's even killing his own sentries right now. He doesn't really have that many units that he can just waste here. Oh my god. He's just killing his own Colossus now. My god. He just killed 3 of his own Colossi on purpose. Together with a... Okay. Anyways, ByuN also now going for a tactical nuke. Are we playing Command and Conquer on accident, where both players are like 20 minutes no rush after rushing in the early game? Because this is not usually what we see in StarCraft 2, where players kill, well, thousands of resources worth of their own units. Not quite efficient, I don't think. I would have much rather liked to see an attack, but apparently this is what Creator has decided is the best course of action, as he's replacing it all with more and more carriers. Now, he got scanned ages ago, so he's hiding them almost in the main base, right? At least it looks like he's hiding them. But there's no way that ByuN doesn't know what he's playing against at this point. Who's adding on 4 additional starports right now. The age of the command center, though, is not over just yet, as he's still adding on more and more. We're already up to 10 orbital commands, 2 planetary fortresses. We have 1 command center, 3 more about to finish up. I mean, ByuN can start... He can start getting rid of, like, half of his SCV count at this point. Just mine everything out with mules instead. Obviously, the main advantage of that is that mules don't cost any supply, whereas SCVs do cost supply, and, well, the less SCVs you have, the bigger of an army you can make. Tactical nuke being used right now. Another nuke coming up as well. It got sniped right away, though, so that ghost, I mean, magically, that missile, it just disappears. If there's no ghost pointing at the exact target where it needs to be, yeah, there's nowhere to tell where that nuke is currently flying, man. It's a little bit of a dangerous decision. Nobody knows where it's currently at, but... That High Templar, man. Just barely made it. Okay, well. That was apparently the trigger that those carriers needed to get out of the main base. More and more starports. Really? Okay. We didn't have any chat or anything, right? No. We know that ByuN can be a very chatty Terran, but... in this particular game, it wasn't like both players decided, yo, we're not gonna fight each other anymore. We're just gonna give each other the time to max out on the ultimate armies instead. So these Stalkers are certainly also being sacrificed. Yeah, they're being sacrificed while trying to at least not be completely pointless. Same right here for these Archons. Even the Immortal right now is coming up. Just trying to trade them out for whatever. The thing is, killing SCVs at this point, does ByuN care? I don't think he's gonna rebuild SCVs. He's got more than a dozen command centers. He can replace those SCVs in a heartbeat. I think ByuN is gonna just replace it with higher tier units instead. And apparently, well, some of those higher tier units are Vikings. I wouldn't mind seeing double armory upgrades, though. Yeah, same for the other side of the map. We've got double cybernetics core right here. We're even going for the armor, for the shields upgrades too inside of the fort. So, Creator is upgrading everything, whereas ByuN is not really... He's got a lot of cash. There's no reason why he shouldn't be upgrading everything right now. He's just forgotten about it. He should really have multiple armories here upgrading everything. A little bit of storm shenanigans here in the bottom left-hand corner. 15 additional SCVs have gone down. I don't know if that was ByuN killing his own workers. I wouldn't be surprised. Okay. Yeah, there's now so many scans available, though, that ByuN can just scan wherever he likes. Look at the minimap. He's literally just waving his mouse. Rapid firing wherever he can. 12 orbital commands. There's a mass Battlecruiser transition underway. Now, especially Battlecruisers benefit from those upgrades a lot. I'm not gonna shut up about the upgrades until he gets them, okay? +3 is an absolute necessity when you're going up against a maxed out Protoss. Yeah, Protoss are maybe a little bit behind on the armor upgrades, so there's definitely a chance for a delay, but... you shouldn't forget about them. Anyways. 9 additional missile turrets coming up. ByuN basically doing the thing that Zerg players like to do with Spore Crawlers against Skytals. ByuN is, however, doing it with missile turrets, and he's also morphing in a planetary fortress in the middle of this. So I think that's basically the personal guard right there for all of those missile turrets. Making sure that they don't get killed by just a couple Zealots or maybe a few Dark Templar. So after a very early-packed early game, or a very action-packed early game, rather, we had a very passive mid-game, and now we're going into what seems to be the ultimate late game. Both players essentially skipping 10 to 20 minutes worth of gameplay that we normally have, and they decide to go straight towards their ultimate units. There's the weapon refit coming up, and there's the upgrades. Okay. So we do have... Where's the second armory? Am I blind? Ah, there we go. It was apparently right above the screen. Fair enough. Anyways, he's going for the double upgrades. They're not very exposed, so I don't think that Protoss is really going to be able to do too much. Viking count at this point at 12, which is by no means enough to deal with 12 of these carriers. Thing is, though, those carriers do take a moment to actually deploy all of the interceptors. So Creator is going to want to have to... He's going to want to have all of his interceptors out before he properly takes a fight. Yeah. The Battlecruisers have not been spotted just yet. The Vikings here trying to be as annoying as possible. Okay, we do have some feedbacks as well. A little bit of a dance between the spellcasters. There's currently 3 Battlecruisers out. But Protoss hasn't seen them yet. To be fair though, they are doing a weird trifecta of... I don't know what this is, man. That's a beautiful shape right there. Between those Battlecruisers. I don't know if they're I don't know what they're doing, man. Maybe they're... I don't know. They're kind of like dogs, you know? Dogs are going to the park right now. Anyways, we have 1 Giga Battlecruiser here in the front. That's all I'm getting at. We have multiple Ghost Academies, but only a single nuke right now. I wouldn't mind seeing ByuN maybe add on a couple more. Tempests are also building here, so Creator must have figured out what the follow-up is going to be. Tempests are usually accompanied by Oracles, because Tempests can shoot away much further than they can see, so you want to throw a Revelation on those opposing units and then have the Tempest shoot away at a maximum distance. There's the additional tactical nukes being researched right now, so he's got Ghost Academies in multiple locations. We also have a lot of additional gateways being added on. So one trap that sometimes happens in the late game after these armies eventually clash is that Terran's gonna try and remax with like 7 Battlecruisers at once. The problem is Battlecruisers take a very long time to build, and a mass Stalker transition can be amazing. Tactical nuke right there does land, but I don't think it's too important. There's the Oracle, by the way. Love the Oracle. Yep, so Revelation here is super helpful. It's gonna allow those Tempests to shoot away at a much further distance. There's another tactical nuke, though, that just launched towards the other side of the map. As I guess this single Ghost is gonna be charged with slow pushing. I mean, it's not a bad idea. So it's 100 minerals, 100 gas for each tactical nuke. Protoss can't really commit too much supply up north. Yeah, so he's just taking the losses. There's a third nuke in the exact same location. Trying to slowly get rid of that Protoss economy. It's gonna take forever, but... Anyways. Despite all of the damage that Terran's doing right now, right? 15 probes, it's not great. Despite all of that, these armies are going to have to clash at some point. So, by the way, the Battlecruisers just now got spotted. There's another tactical nuke. These armies are going to have to clash, and I've got a feeling that that will ultimately decide who wins this game. We are at 22 gateways. My god, 22 gateways. That is a lot of gateways. So 2 Warpins and Creator is maxed again after this fight. I'm a little concerned that ByuN is gonna start up like 5 dozen Battlecruisers all at once. Okay, maybe that's a bit much, but he's gonna make a ton of Battlecruisers. Who, by the way, finally, by the way, now go for a bit of a move. Ghost here. Similar plans as the guy up north, I'm sure. Just trying to be annoying. There is a Dark Templar here, but... Yep, there we go. Tactical nuke. Tactical nuke. Going up north, going down south. But Creator is ready to fight. He's got Revelation right there on some of his opponent's units as well. Plus on those missile turrets. We should really see the upgrade for those Tempest. Tactical nuke, by the way, did land both north as well as south. The Vikings, I mean, they deal a lot of damage. There's really not that many of them. He's trading them out right now for Battlecruisers, but they certainly put in their work. More tactical nukes. This guy has been single-handedly killing everything. 39 confirmed kills right now, by the way. And he's going to be able to finish the job here as well. He probably could have auto-attacked it and it would have died, but... anyways, this is a much cooler way to do it. The Tempests don't have their... oh, they do have it right now. Maybe it was still on... okay, well now they have their golden balls of pulsing energy right there, which deals double damage to structures. It's very nice to kill, well, usually spore crawlers, but I think that's why it was originally patched into the game. It's gonna be helpful though against missile turrets as well, because missile turrets are still structures, but you do need the Oracle to throw in a revelation. ByuN still has a lot of supply here, caught up in units that aren't too helpful. I don't know if I like having all these units here, to be honest, but anyways. The ghosts are gonna continue this aggression. Is there... yeah, there is detection, so eventually this will be killed. ByuN right now dropping about a dozen mules. We're gonna have to keep an eye out right here on the income situation, as these mules start returning their cargoes. There's the revelation though, and they're gonna continuously deal damage. So this should be a nice little, yeah, a nice little spike right there for ByuN as those mules start returning resources. Okay, a couple Yamato guns here coming up as well. I feel a lot more confident about this turtle play that ByuN is doing compared to what Creator is doing. Creator honestly seems to be playing catch up, even though he's got all the money in the world and he can do whatever he likes. Maybe I'm wrong and I have no idea how this game is going to end, but it feels to me that ByuN is just a little bit more comfortable. Carriers right now though finally have deployed all of their interceptors and they decide to go after, well, some of these structures down south. The interceptors though get killed very rapidly by the 3-3 Marines. We're lacking a 1 armor upgrade right here for Protoss, which is not to be underestimated. He should really dedicate one of his upgrades, one of his cybercores to that upgrade. Make sure that he gets all of it. It's not the end of the world, but it certainly is going to make those fights a little bit harder. The interceptors and whatnot benefit as well from it. Either way, this ghost was tasked with killing the base down south. Turns out he found another nexus, standing right next to it. There's not a tactical nuke. This time around, it's going on top of the army. This ghost needs to be sniped. This ghost really needs to be killed. Oh god, oh god. Okay, no, he's gonna have to get out of there. Both of those nukes are going to land. It's a little bit afraid we were gonna see a massive nuke land on all of the Protoss units. Even though ByuN didn't make use of all of those ghost academies as soon as he built them, he has been getting a lot of value out of them for a while now. Okay. Prismatic alignment activated as well to try and deal some additional damage to those Battlecruisers. This is a scary army though. ByuN is now currently at 7 BCs. He's adding on more, as well as Vikings. The Vikings do deal a lot of damage. ByuN pushing forward here, but very large storms also do go down. That's a ton of damage being dealt right there to the Terran Bio army. Creator has been dropping more supply, but that's also because ByuN has been rebuilding his supply a little bit quicker. Creator still has a large bank though. Yeah, and after that storm, these Terran units, they're not really high enough in health to really contest this Protoss army, so it seems to me that Creator is going to be able to push this back, clean up this high ground, kill all of the static defense, kill the planetary fortress, and that was a very expensive set of structures right there for ByuN to lose. I wouldn't mind seeing a couple SCVs pulled here to repair these Vikings. Okay, there's an orbital command going down. Second orbital command, also in a lot of trouble. Planetary fortress is being killed. A lot of Void Rays are also being built right now, so we're transitioning away from the carriers towards Tempests, Disruptors, and Void Rays once more. Ooh, okay. So even though I was maybe criticizing the way Creator was playing this just about a minute or two ago, he's actually showing us exactly what he was hoping for. It was an overextension right there from ByuN, some massive static, or some massive splash damage from our Protoss player. And he now ends up with a very powerful army. Okay, he decides to go back. He really should remax though. He's got 25 supplies still available here to play with. Okay, he's slowly mixing in more and more oracles, which is kind of funny to me. Goes down to Stalker play again. I don't know if I like Stalkers. I feel like Stalkers are a very dangerous decision here. Anyways, The Battlecruisers are now gonna try and finish the job that those ghosts started, as the Protoss army is now occupied on the other side of the map. 4 additional Battlecruisers did start up here for ByuN, so even though the supply count is currently in his favor, those units that are on the production tab do count towards his active supply, and those units are very, very supply dense, right? They're very heavy in supply and they're not currently available yet. So as far as actual armies go, I don't think the size is really that much different. Creator probably even a little bit ahead. He kills another base, but at the same time, ByuN has also killed the Nexus here at the bottom of the map. Once again, big storms, man. The splash damage here is massive. Yeah, Archons also, not to be underestimated. The Archons, the Archons, they deal splash damage to units that are clumped up. And these Vikings, they do tend to clump up. So with a good hit, those Archons can kill everything. Okay, there's another storm, softening up these units. Beautiful. Really lovely work right here by Creator, who's not been rushing to Remax, but he's been slowly getting there. One thing he can also do is warp in like 22 Dark Templar and start going after all of those structures. I don't think that's what he should do, but it is an option. It's more or less a desperation move though. Honestly, at this point, both of these guys are broke. All of those command centers are awesome, but I think he may have overdone it a little bit. Yeah, we have seen, I don't know, 20-something command centers in this game. And that is a ton of resources you're dropping that you can't mine a second time, right? I mean, there's only so many mineral fields available. At this point, basically, all of the mineral fields that Terrans had at their disposal, they're all mined out. Protoss, similar story as well. Okay, this is actually a really nice little skirmish here for ByuN, although Creator is trying to make the best of it. Trying to target fire down the low HP Battlecruisers. One more? One more? You can get one more. Okay, no, instead we decide to jump back to safety right here with the BCs. So they're gonna be healed back up to full, which is quite a bit cheaper than rebuilding them. Okay. 4 nukes still available. Creator only at 15 workers, ByuN currently at 30. If one of these two players was gonna be at a low worker count, I really would have expected it to be the Terran, just because of all of those mules, but ByuN actually still having 30 SCVs available. This does mean, though, that Creator is mostly given up here on trying to do a lot of mining. Yes, he still has a bit of income. There's still a new Nexus building down south as well, but if he doesn't add on new probes, he's essentially trying to win with the army that he's got right now because he doesn't have money to really rebuild anything else. Ravens are being added into the mix. I love that. I think Ravens with anti-armor missile in particular can deal with a lot of damage. Like, against these clumped up Protoss units, all of these flying units, they tend to stick very close together. One anti-armor missile is going to soften them up a lot. At that point, those Vikings and all of those Battlecruisers, they should be able to do a lot more damage. This base is going to, well, certainly not happen. And Stalkers are starting to poke away at a couple of those missile turrets. Yeah, I don't like the idea of mixing in like 40 Stalkers all of a sudden. But this small group of Stalkers against that very slow-moving Terran army, I actually think it's a really clever decision here. Creator just picking off whatever he can. There's a large amount of missile turrets here, ripe for the taking as well. Then again, though, they are sort of needed in a main fight if these armies do clash. So he's keeping them at least somewhat close. Okay. There's the Revelation, though, so that's going to allow all of those Tempests to shoot away at their maximum range. A couple of free medevacs, not bad at all. ByuN still has a good bit of cash, so that's nice. Both players are once again maxing out. Those Tempests, man, they're fantastic. Okay, this is the moment. ByuN decides to jump on top of this entire Protoss army. Yamato guns are going down left, right, and center as he tries to snipe this force before it can retreat. Those Archons underneath are trying to do as much splash damage as possible, but Creator's army just got absolutely destroyed. I did not expect this game to end within 10 seconds. But ByuN saw an opportunity, he looked at it once, he looked at it twice, and he decided, you know what? This is what I've been waiting for. And just like that, it's our Terran player who ends up winning this match.